Text my wife.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, your bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original Generation 1 series.
For a little bit longer.
Series of Transformers. We're never really specific about that. This is our episode 207. We'll be covering episode number...
I don't have that information. Number 93, I think.
93. The Burden Hardest to Bear. I'm your host, Aaron. Who are you guys?
We didn't introduce ourselves last time. I'm Ryan.
ChatGPT did.
I am Caleb.
And we're here to talk about Transformers.
What is this?
That's nothing. They're robots.
You don't have an intro?
No, look at that. Right, see right there?
Oh, it's blank as shit.
It's blank. It's short. Nothing. Nothing. You know?
You guys
You
doing all
don't
right?
even have any banter or news.
We covered all the news last time.
Okay.
All the news
All
is
the
fit to
banter.
print.
Ryan's smoking weed, I heard.
Yeah.
He's high right now.
Party. It's Callie Ryan.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
The phrase California sober, does that mean you just smoke weed? What does California sober mean? I've heard it in circles.
I've never heard that.
I don't know it.
I'm just gonna. You never heard somebody say they're California sober?
It's like someone who's like just really into heroin.
They just do weed and coke. What is the California sober approach to substance abuse?
probably just not smoke or drinking.
It's ambiguous and kind of a misnomer.
Oh, so it's nothing.
It's nothing. Promotes cutting out certain addictive substances and
Yeah,
replacing
so
them
it's
with
like you
alternatives.
stop drinking, you start doing benzodiazepines.
It's half-ass sobriety.
It's an excuse.
All right.
It's-
Sorry, West Coasters. You're full of shit.
Yeah, it's self-delusion.
Just admit it to yourself.
It's self-delusion.
Anything else going on we should cover? What do we got?
Ah, man, nothing's happened since we recorded last 30 minutes ago.
Well, that's unfortunate. Everybody loves the personal half, as I like to call it,
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
I joined Costco.
Did you for
Yeah.
real?
Yeah.
you
Over
can
by
see
my
I
house?
sent
You
you
saw
pictures.
the texts early.
Today?
Yes.
Maybe I didn't get to it yet. I'm sorry.
You did. Well, I sent.
comment on it?
I made a Christopher Columbus joke with it.
Yeah, I think it was last night actually that I sent a picture of.
It was today.
Was it today?
I
or was it
apologize,
late last
Ryan
night?
and Caleb. I
Lord.
was clearly not invested in that
I'm on a board.
conversation.
I'm on a board now.
Yeah.
I am now on my county's library foundation board.
How'd that happen?
I got invited by Barbie Barnett.
Oh, she roped you in at the
She did?
at the reunion.
No, she's not part of that family.
Oh,
She wrote me in at a high school reunion.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
I'm sorry. Yep, she did, but I wanted to do it, and I'm now on the Christian County Library Foundation.
What kind of power does that give you?
The power to go out and find major donors for contributing lots of money to the library.
Yeah. What are you gonna do when they come to you and they be like, "Hey, why don't you get all them gay books out of there?"
That's happening right now.
Yeah. What's the tea? Spill it.
There's a lot of contention, and there's people showing up at the boards, at the trustee meetings, and telling the board that they're going to face the wrath of God for.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's happening.
It's fucking bozos.
That's happening.
So, I guess do you have to face that as a
Nope.
member of this particular board?
No, that's
Okay.
not. I just go out and raise money.
You don't have any decision-making
No.
authority over the content of the library.
No.
You're a fundraiser.
Yes. That's
and
it.
Who do you go to? Are you gonna ask me for money? I don't
Okay,
live in Christian
no,
County.
you would
get
be-
out of here.
You would fit. That's true, but it doesn't matter. You would.
I'll take it from anywhere.
Yeah,
of course.
but there's the foundation,
Mhm.
and then there's the friends of the library.
Mm.
The friends go out and find smaller time contributor. So you'd probably be approached by the friends.
I see.
Yeah. But we're looking for people.
You want nickels? You want
That's
dimes?
not me.
The friends will come after
I'm looking.
you.
I'm trying to find people that are wanting to donate like $1 to $3 million.
Ah,
So I'm going after businesses and wealthy
how
individuals.
many you got so far?
I just started last week. I have 30. No, no, I just started last week. So I'm learning.
Should the APDC contribute? We don't have $1 million.
No, they
The
could.
friends might
They
call
could.
us.
They could totally make it. They could totally make a contribution.
Text D.
It certainly is.
Of course it is. What else?
Well, I don't know what kind of gay books they're going to put in the
That's
library.
true. That's true. We'll hold back our reservation
Well, here's the
until
problem:
we know the
gay
percent
books,
gay
the
of your
gay
library.
books, quote unquote, are already there. It's they're trying to get them removed.
Yeah.
You're going to be judged by God. Like,
We'll
okay.
give to those.
All right.
Nick's,
Like, that's neither here nor there.
They removed the graphic novel of Mouse.
Yeah, you told me that.
God,
Which makes
No,
no
was it
sense.
Mouse?
it's
No,
a
no.
Holocaust
They voted.
story.
No.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Thankfully, they voted unanimously to keep Mouse. They removed the graphic novel of the woman in this dystopian American society that's like a religious theocracy.
Oh, they made a show out of it.
Handmaid's
Handmaiden.
Tale.
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale.
So the Handmaid's Tale book is still in, but they removed the graphic novel of the Handmaid's Tale out of the library.
Okay.
It's all fucked up.
Ron DeSantis doesn't have to be president to have an influence on what everybody's
Yeah.
doing.
So anyway, that's
Shithead.
you asked. That's what's going on. I joined the Library Foundation.
All right. Well, I hope you get lots of money.
You bummed
too.
me out knowing about
right
all
off the
this.
top. I shouldn't have asked what was going on in
Yep.
our lives.
There you go.
Does could you face a situation where you're trying to raise money, you get a lead from some organization that maybe has reactionary values, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll give you money if you get rid of that."
Yeah, we're not going to take their money.
Okay. All right.
We wouldn't. We don't
Would the
do it.
library be thought of as on its own a progressive-ish organization?
It is. It definitely is.
Then why did it pull out that graphic novel? Other than,
I think
know
that was
pressure,
probably
but-
the school
Because that
board.
wasn't the Christian County Library.
that was the school.
that was the public. That was our high school library,
Okay.
and they have
Apologies.
yeah. But those boards, those trustees, are getting. There are people that are running for those boards and those trustees are getting replaced with people that are more sympathetic towards those type of people.
Sure.
And then they-
Missouri, great place to be.
The
Unless
state
you're-
was sour in the
Unless you're
middle of the
black,
name.
transgender, Mexican, gay.
If you really want to be cisgender, white, and male, this is the place for you.
Come
Yeah.
join the Library Foundation. Someone's got to stand up to these people. I'm starting that journey.
Good for you, man.
Thanks. No.
I took it whenever you started telling that story as I got roped into its story, so I'm glad that
No,
you're,
I really I
that you're
didn't.
excited about it.
I've actually been investing some time into looking into that beforehand anyway. So
getting an extracurricular thing going on.
yeah,
This podcast and all the bands and the children aren't enough for you.
nope.
All right.
We only meet once a month.
Yeah.
It's not a huge investment of time at this point.
And then you go around the room and say, I raised this much money. I didn't raise anything. I just started.
I don't think
guys."
that's how they're going to operate. I don't think they're going to call people out for how much did you raise?
Second place, you get a set of steak knives.
Yeah,
Third place,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
fired.
Yeah. This is like coffees for closers.
Are there any incentives?
No, we don't. This is
I don't understand
But-
why you're so invested
by its nature.
digging into the.
By its nature,
Just because I wouldn't do it doesn't mean
it's
I'm
a
not interested in the
non-for-profit. You're
dynamics
donating
of
your
it.
time. They don't want to incentivize. They don't want to. Yeah, I'm not getting rewarded with anything other than just being satisfied that I'm making a difference.
Caleb is just living up there at the top of Maslow's hierarchy.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Ryan, you join any boards lately?
Fuck no.
All right.
I wouldn't be a part of any organization that would have me as a member.
The only board he's dealing with is that charcuterie board that he's been making.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Cured meats. Check.
Smoke these meats.
Candied nuts.
I like them.
Hard cheese. Hey, let's
Good
shout out our
Lord.
patrons. Alpha Magnus, Debbie, Jeremy, Skeeter, Mr. Sadler, Mike Seibert of Mike Seibert Radio. Not many people know that.
It's not the Mike Seibert experience.
Moving on. Bono, Michael Trimblett, Justin, Jonathan, Robinus, Classic Daniel, the Sophubiest of Samurai, Chandler, Jay Soups, Matty V, Nick the Toy Mad Dad, Ken Bockelman, DFB Greg Murray,
Thank you,
Captain
Caleb.
Alexis, Corey, James, Julia, Mr. Michael Ordway, Tim Dubbs. We got Jason from Charactastic Plastic, Thomas, New Justin, Triclops, Alex, Simon, Squid King, New Daniel, Seven the Chronicler, Argonus Prime, Brian Jones, and Rick, a.k.a. Autobot 1000.
Thank you, patrons, so much.
Ryan, why don't
Yo.
you put a burden on our liver?
I am excited about this one. God damn. We're in the rainforest.
No, we're not in a rainforest. I know you don't like us hanging out in the bar.
Because we're California sober now.
Yeah. And so I thought I'd bring Aaron into a Shinto shrine. It has to do with their episode today.
I'm closing my eyes and I'm imagining
Yeah.
it. What is before me? I'm just not familiar. I've never been to a place like this.
Well, there's very specific rituals. So basically, there's a big clapping ritual here.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Like this one.
And that's called hakushu.
Uh-huh.
And it refers to a gesture that people make when they offer prayers to deities or spirits before Shinto
Oh, you mean
shrines.
kami?
What?
You mean kami? That's the deities of the Shinto religion.
Sure, for example, yeah. Yeah. There's several types of hakushu. There's 3, if you do 3 or less claps, that is the mijikake, with short claps. 2 claps is generally used when people visit shrines today with the Nihai Nihakushu Ikai, which involves a bow twice first. So bow twice first, Aaron. Very good. Then clap twice. And finally, one more bow. All right, very good. That's respectful for this shrine. 4 or more hand claps, such as those used at the Izumo Taisha shrine, or there's 4 claps at the Usa Jingu shrine, and the Isa Jingu shrine actually has 8 claps. That's known as the Nagate.
So what is this clapping, bowing sequence? What am I paying homage to or respect to?
It depends on which shrine you visit.
Mm-hmm.
Certain shrines have their own clapping rituals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Certain shrines have their own spirits or deities that you're evoking or giving homage to. Basically, that gesture is to kind of cleanse or prepare yourself to enter the shrine or observe and respect the deity that you're wanting to, evoke.
What does this deity evoke?
Which deity?
The one that you just had me pay homage to.
Oh, well, that's
now that we're in the shrine.
That's a very so. This one's a very common. This is a very common type of practice. The one you just did. You bow twice, clap twice, and then bow again.
Oh, you just give me a random one.
Well, it's a very common one. It's a general. So it could be a host of different shrines.
It's not a skeleton key. It's not going to get me into every shrine.
It's probably going to be the most common one. So
is it going to get me into this one?
Into
the shrine you just brought me to.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
Okay, let's go in.
I'm sorry, we're already inside.
Oh, I thought we had to do that before we
No, you just did it. Actually, I'm still standing outside. Hold on.
All right, now you're inside with me.
No, I got to clap.
Bow.
Bow. Yeah, here we are.
I think you did it wrong.
I did. But a lot of Japanese are known for actually making this kind of faux pas. Just don't make a big deal about it. It's going to be okay. It's very peaceful.
Yeah. This is the kind of place I feel like I could practice some martial arts.
Probably shouldn't. I don't know if you're allowed to practice martial arts in a shrine or not, but I can see where it kind of puts you in that peace of mind. I'd like to go to Japan sometime.
I think it'd be beautiful. That's a place you'd have to go hiking, Ryan.
Let's walk outside. Let's walk outside the shrine here and see what Ryan's got served for us.
I didn't like that any better.
Ryan is. I think you're gonna like it less once you get into the to the editing phase.
Yeah, I'm certain I will.
Tell us what you've served before us at this.
Today's
Shinto
episode
shrine.
has a theme about discovering oneself.
Oh, just like
and
you
waking up to your responsibilities. So let's put some pep in our step with the espresso martini.
I think this is very conducive with visiting a Shinto shrine. You kind
I
of
don't know
discover
why.
yourself. Yeah.
The pep in your step comment would make a lot more sense if we weren't uncharacteristically recording this deep into Sunday evening. The cocktail was created by innovative British bartender Dick Bradsell in the 1980s. Bradsell pretty much reinvigorated the cocktail scene in Britain in the 80s and created several modern classics, including the Bramble, which is a gin blackberry liqueur cocktail. That's on the list. For this one, the espresso martini, you will need 3/4 ounce or 22 mils of 100 proof vodka, 3/4 ounce of coffee liqueur like Kahlua, 1 ounce or 30 mils of cold brew concentrate, which is, I made this from Jeffrey Morgenthaler's recipe, which is 1 pound or 500 grams of rough ground coffee, 2 quarts of water. You let that steep overnight and strain through a coffee filter, which will make a truly insane amount of concentrate. I cut it by 75%, and I still have way more than I can use, but I also don't drink coffee, so we'll make it
home
into coffee ice cream or something.
That sounds good.
Combine all ingredients in a shaker. Hold on, I forgot a component.
Oh, shit.
Twist a lemon peel over it to express the citrus oils.
Interesting.
Shake
And coffee.
and strain into a chilled coupe glass, or if you must, one of those terrible conical martini glasses, and garnish with 3 coffee beans.
3. Cool. Cheers.
Not 4, not 2.
I thought you were about to count down.
3, 2, 1. Blast off.
That's a good martini.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I love
good.
this. It's so fucking good.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Oh, my stars and
And
garters.
this-
Yeah, I've been having, since I decided to put this on here, I had a bunch of these, and now I'm out of Kahlua, which I had just enough to make for us.
Thank you very much.
It's
Thanks
so
for
good.
saving it.
That's very good.
I'm into it. What's the British bartender's name?
It is Dick Bradsell.
Shout out Dick.
Yeah. Good dick.
Yeah, and if you'd like to buy us a drink, you can do that by sending us $5 to @APODcast on PayPal, and tell me what you'd like us to make, and I will make it. I think we have 2 more coming up before the end of season 3, and that's all we have slated. So who knows what will happen whenever we start Beast Wars.
As part of our season 3 closeout.
If you want a toast of podcast and your credit don't steal,
Really loud today.
then reach inside your wallet now and buy us a drink.
Definitely lost some hearing ability with that one. Along with our season 3 wrap up discourse, maybe we should rate all the drinks that have been purchased.
All of
for
them?
us. I mean, we don't have to drink them, but like just put them on a tier: S tier, A, B, C, D.
We have to go back
F.
through all these. We have to kind of go back.
It
and
sounds like
find all
you
the
just
drinks.
want me to do that.
No, we're not making and drinking.
No, I
them.
know,
No,
but
we
like,
go back
so
and find them all and rate them all.
sounds complicated.
I don't think it's that hard.
You do it then.
Do it.
We do it together on the show.
Oh man,
We're
that'll
just
be
like,
a whole
we
show.
had this drink. What was that? It's not a whole show. We've had like 10 drinks.
We've had so many drinks.
Last episode recap. I didn't write one. So let's see if we can take on
ChatGPT got the day off.
the burden hardest to bear, written by Michael Charles Hill, animated by Toei and Transart Company.
Mm-hmm. Thank God this is Toei. Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's not bad.
No, it's actually not even not bad. It's really good.
Yeah, pretty good. We find ourselves in Japan.
Wait. I have a game.
Okay, let's...
It's called Bot or Not.
I'm ready.
If you remember, Brian Jones sent us some quotes from either famous persons or Cybertronians a couple of whenever ago, and we played a game to figure out the origin. He sent us another list of 10 quotes, either by a Transformer or historical figure. The first one was hard because I had you guess whether it was a human or Transformer, then bonus points for whomever said it. So for this one, I made it multiple choice.
Real quick, Aaron, I'm sorry. You had an idea and we shot it down. I apologize. I know
Yeah.
that probably hurts your
Yeah,
feelings.
we'll just take an idea from a stranger and celebrate that.
Yeah.
But
Poor
my
guy.
idea
This was given to
Yeah.
me.
I get upset. I get upset too when I have ideas and people shut them down. So I'm sorry.
I'm not upset, but thank you for
You're welcome.
acknowledging
Yeah,
that
man.
I could be upset.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
My
anyway.
right to be upset.
Yeah.
I'll look
yeah.
and see what we've got.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right.
We don't have to do shit. In
Okay.
fact, I'm done.
Oh God. Anyway.
Flip.
Hey,
Where was I?
sorry. Go ahead.
Multiple choice.
So yeah, okay. So this is 10 questions. You want to score yourselves? It's A, B, C, or D.
How many questions?
10.
All right.
I do want credit for coming up with these these he gave me the quotes, but I came up with the answers except for the correct one. All right, number 1. The quote is, "War is too serious a matter to leave to soldiers. War is too serious a matter to leave to soldiers." Is it A, General William T. Sherman, B, Galvatron, C, Alexander the Great, or D, Gears?
Read it again.
War is too serious a matter to leave to soldiers. General Sherman, Galvatron, Alexander the Great, or Gears?
I'm going to go with Alexander the Great.
I'm going to go with General Sherman. Whoops.
Aaron, you are correct.
Oh, fuck. Son of a bitch.
That piece of shit, Tecumseh. Number 2, to lose patience is to lose the battle. Is that A, Ultra Magnus, B, Mahatma Gandhi, C, Winston Churchill, or D, Gears? To lose patience is to lose the battle.
I am going to go with Churchill.
Throwing a lot of gears in the mix here randomly.
Ultra
I'm
Magnus,
going to say Gandhi.
Gandhi, Winston Churchill, or Gears? Aaron, you're right again.
Oh, God.
It is Gandhi.
Damn it.
Number 3, know the conflict before facing the conflict within. Is that A, Beachcomber, B, Sun Tzu, C, Marcus Aurelius, or D, Gears?
God damn it, Ryan.
I'm saying Beachcomber.
I want to know. I want to say Sun Tzu so bad. I'm just going to stick with Sun Tzu.
It is Beachcomber.
God damn it.
Aaron, you are 100% so
Hey,
far.
we're only 30% through. Plenty of room to make up here.
Christ.
Number 4, better to fight for something than to live for nothing. Is that A, General George Washington, B, Scorponok, C, General George S. Patton, or D, Gears?
I have to go gears on this one. We can say
General Washington, Scorponok, General Patton, or General Patton, or Gears?
I'm going to go with Scorponok.
It is C, General Patton.
God damn it.
Number
I didn't pick Patton because I just was like thinking like it's got to be somebody that I don't think it is. Fuck.
I'm so good at this.
Yeah, you are.
Number 5, only in war is there happiness. Is that A, Megatron, B, Genghis Khan, C, Slag, or D, Gears?
Genghis Khan. I know this one.
Caleb's confident, so I guess I'll say Khan.
It is Slag. Number 6, if you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat. Is that A, Cyclonus, B, President Ronald Reagan, C, Joan of Arc, or D, Gears?
What was the first one?
Cyclonus.
I'm going to say Cyclonus.
What was the second one?
President Reagan.
I'm going to go with Reagan.
I just don't think that any president would say that.
Caleb's
except
on the board.
Oh!
Because that piece of shit Reagan said it. Fucking monster who destroyed everything that we know today.
Yeah.
You just need to
He
get
did.
3 of the next 4 to beat me.
Number 7, there is beauty in everything but war. Is that A, Grapple, B, Leo Tolstoy, C, Mikhail Gorbachev, or D, Gears?
Wow, you're really good at placing these, because they're you're putting them in common places. There's always like the person I always want to go for is C in these. I'm gonna go with C. I'm gonna go with Gorbachev.
I'm going to say Tolstoy.
It was A, Grapple. He made the Sun Tower.
He collaborated with.
He did. He was a collaborator. Number 8, experience is the benchmark of maturity. Is that A, Margaret Thatcher, B, Rodimus Prime, C, Cup, or D, Gears? Experience is the benchmark of maturity.
I'm torn between Cup and Margaret Thatcher.
Me too. You pick one, I'll pick the other. I'll do it for you. I'll pick Thatcher. You pick Cup.
All right.
This is an upset. It's B, Rodimus Prime.
Caleb, you can only tie me.
Number 9. As areas of knowledge grow, so too do perimeters of ignorance. Is that A, Perceptor, B, Neil deGrasse Tyson, C, Arthur Miller, or D, Gears?
I feel like we're definitely gearing up for Gears being our number 10 answer. But
You don't know
that could
what
be the
I'm doing.
twist.
You'd want to know.
That
Yeah.
could be the
So
twist.
my thinking is that if that Ryan knows that, and that Gears would actually be here in spot 9. You know what I mean?
But then maybe Gears is nowhere.
But maybe he does. Maybe he knows that we would think that way. That we would pick Gears for 9. And it
how
is
many
actually
D's
10.
of chess is Ryan playing with us?
No. There's never start a land war in Asia. Never match wits with a Sicilian.
All right, one more time.
As areas of knowledge grow, so too do perimeters of ignorance.
That sounds like a pretentious ass Neil deGrasse Tyson thing, but it also sounds like the Transformers character that's not Gears that you mentioned.
Perceptor?
Perceptor. He is the Neil deGrasse Tyson of the Transformers with less confidence.
Less swagger.
I'm
I'm gonna go with Gears.
Caleb is locking in the Gears answer now. I'm gonna say Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I think I'm gonna regret it though. But go for it.
Aaron, you're correct.
Yeah, I win. I win.
Number 10.
Gears.
You
I'm
don't
taking a
know.
shot. I don't know.
It's fair.
Go ahead.
In a war,
But I can't lose.
That's true. In a war, nobody wins, somebody loses. Is that A, General Colin Powell, B, Swindle, C, Vice President Dick Cheney, or D, Gears?
See, if Cheney said that, he's full of shit because he in
It
his
wasn't Cheney.
No,
Colin Powell
he was
might
always
say
after
something like
he was
that.
always after winning, and he yeah.
Very close to your Dreyfuss impression.
But it's a slow like a slowed down.
evil.
So
Evil
yeah,
Dre-
is
Dick
Cheney?
Cheney is evil Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
Does Dreyfuss play Dick Cheney in a movie, and maybe that's why?
No,
I
I don't.
think
Did
that-
Dreyfuss? No.
Was there not a movie about Dick
Oh,
Cheney?
man, now
Yeah,
I'm
but it wasn't
thinking-
Dreyfuss.
No,
it was,
you're right. It was.
It was a heavily
It was
heavily
Batman.
It was a heavily made up. Yeah, that guy.
Batman.
I'm gonna go with Powell.
I locked in at Gears, but I don't think that's right either.
It is Gears.
God damn it!
I got half of them. 5
that
out
was
of 10.
bot or not.
Caleb got
One out of
10.
10. I am really disappointed in myself.
I feel like I made it difficult.
You did, but good for you. I appreciated the challenge. You did a really good job. I had a lot of fun.
All right, for those of you who were really excited for the episode to begin,
Here
now
we
it
go.
will.
We're back in it.
That was great. Thanks, Brian.
Brian Jones.
thanks,
thank
Brian.
you for
Yeah.
sending us the quotes.
No, those were great. Thank you so much.
Brian is I appreciate Brian because
Yeah, those were great.
he is a very interactive participant
Mhm. Yeah.
in the
No, those are good
in
questions.
making content, so we don't have to.
Wow.
I mean, I know you helped make that content.
Listen,
I don't want to take anything from you, Ryan.
What if we do a thing about writing the drinks?
Now I'm mad.
you forgot to be like, duh. What are we doing about this? Yeah, you forgot that part, right?
I'm a fucking Tony Danza now. All of a sudden,
You tap danced out of the room.
Angela,
Mona.
Mona, Theo, Rudy, Monica.
that correct. Oh, Rachel. What are we doing? I don't know. The burden hardest to bear.
Yes.
We open up in Japan. Last episode, it's confusing because last episode we were a place that
I'm
was like
confused.
Japan. Now we're in Japan.
I'm confused because there's not a bear in this whole episode.
Where the fuck?
Yeah. So what was the burden hardest to bear?
Oh my god. I didn't get that reference at all until you just said that. Jesus Christ. I quit. I quit the podcast.
We're in Japan as the early day's sun peeks from behind the infinite oceanic horizon. Some fishermen peacefully work the waters of the serene scene, but that's all disrupted
it's all
immediately
fucked up.
when Devastator and Predaking attack Autobot broadside in the ocean, sending the trawler tumbling. Broadside saves the anglers, and the Decepticons leave for some reason.
What the fuck kind of weird half-ass battle was that?
Yeah, it was weird.
Predaking and Devastator are fighting broadside, and then they disassemble and just walk out of the water.
Well, here we have a beautiful shot of Mount Fuji.
Indeed.
And Mount Fuji is located on the island of Honshu. It is an active stratovolcano with a summit elevation of 12,389 feet. And it is the tallest mountain in Japan. And it last erupted from 1707 to 1708. There you go. There's
Fuji
some-
facts.
I'm going to have some Japanese facts just to kind of, we're in Japan. We also have a crane. And so let's move forward. There's a lot of Japanese.
They're putting it all in there.
They're putting it all
They're
in
like,
there.
hey, we're in Japan.
We're in Japan. Yep. So there you go.
Elsewhere, Astro Train and a Bullet Train are on a collision course. The aerial bots show up and just start blasting, driving Astro Train from the tracks, saving the human Bullet Train.
So about this train, high-speed train, starting in 1964, it's called the Shinkansen, colloquially known in English as the Bullet Train. It's a network of high-speed railway lines in Japan, and initially it was built to connect distant Japanese regions with Tokyo to aid economic growth and development. And over the Shinkansen's 50-plus year history, carrying over 10 billion passengers, there has not been a single passenger fatality or injury on board due to derailments or collisions. Thankfully, the aerial bots prevented Astro Train from derailing that perfect record.
I wonder what the fatalities that were not according to derailments or accidents, though. Like, did somebody get stabbed? Because that implies there were fatalities. Just not according to derailments or accidents.
I guess what's important is the things that they have control
Well, sure,
over.
yes. I would say that it probably pertains to specifically any kind of malfunction of the train.
Did any men in top hats and long mustaches tie any damsels to the track?
Like,
Well, that wouldn't be a fatality on the train.
Got
true.
me.
Yeah. But it could have led to a derailment.
True.
I wonder if that's true. Probably not. It'd probably just splatter the person.
It would. My dad has some railroad stories about that. I'm glad you brought
Is
that
that
up.
one of his stunts? They tied a guy to the tracks
No.
and got him run over.
But they've had, he said, one of the worst, more than one occasion, but a train hit a chicken truck out near Aurora.
Jesus God.
And he said it was disgusting. They had like hose out the train because it hit a chicken truck. Also, train hit a cow once. Also, not pretty. Yeah, not pretty. But he said the chicken one was particularly bad because there was just chicken up in everything in the train. Gross.
Sounds like a salmonella risk.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Isn't that what I don't know if they have them on modern trains.
The cow catcher?
Yeah, the cow catcher.
They do, but when you catch the cow,
It's still
the question
ramps
is
up
the-
into the
what
engine.
what happens to the cow once
But I mean,
you
I
caught
guess it happens so often that they have a thing that they call that.
It's true. I think it happened more often back in the
1800s.
yeah, when there was like less pasture. Yeah,
Less fences.
it's weird they call it a cow catcher rather than just a cow hitter. Catching sounds like it's taking care of it. No,
Yeah,
it's
there's
not.
some kind of net
It's taken
involved.
care of, all right.
The cow splitter would be a good word for it. So anyway, there's some information because they're featuring a bullet train in here, and they're like, we need more Japanese-related iconography.
Do you have anything about the ceremony we're about to watch?
Oh, I certainly do.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, here,
Aaron.
let me describe what's
Yep.
happening first. We find ourselves in a quaint, I guess it's a town, or maybe this is a Shinto
This is a Shinto shrine. Remember
Okay,
earlier we were at
okay.
a Shinto
Yeah,
shrine?
well,
am
it
I
didn't
right?
look familiar to me at the time
This
I wrote
isn't
my
the
notes.
one we were at.
You've got villagers. They're doing villager shit, but I guess what they're really doing is preparing for prayer. And, hey, look at that. She just did the thing that you had me do.
Yes, but guess what? How many times did she clap? She clapped 3 times.
And
So-
one bow.
So the mystery is here. Why did she clap 3 times? Was it specific to the shrine that she was visiting? Was it in honor of a specific observance or deity? Or, worse to imagine, Did she mistakenly clap too many times or not enough to commit an offensive cultural faux pas, resulting in this punishment by Bruticus?
You sound like you're Jonathan Frakes on Beyond Belief.
Yeah.
But in the visual form of that guy who does that show about eating shit, the guy that created Everybody Loves Raymond that just travels around the world.
That Phil?
Phil, yeah, Phil. What is it? I like the show. Like,
Yeah.
Phil eats shit. I don't know.
Somebody
She
feed
looks
Phil.
like she knows she fucked up.
She did. The second she clapped 3 times, then it evoked Bruticus.
Yes. A woman attempts to gain entry to a shrine. And we've got Bruticus and Defensor.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting here.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved
Busting
it
shit up.
if this whole episode was just a series of 30-second battles that mean nothing and go nowhere, like
Just-
we've
and
seen
just
so far.
featuring Japanese like cultural traditions and stuff and iconography.
Like 5 seconds of Japanese
Yeah.
cultural
Yeah.
references.
Right.
10 seconds of
And that's it.
a different pair of Autobot and Decepticons
Yes.
battle.
That's what the opening
and it's just that's what it is.
that's what this is so far.
It is what it is so far.
Yep.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I think this is it. It was still like jarring.
Yeah.
Cyclonus and the Sweep show up to help. Defensor is getting the better of Bruticus. Cyclonus and the Sweep show up to help him out a little bit. But then Skylynx, Rodimus, and Cup show up to back up Defensor. No one is hurt, but at this point, Rodimus Prime gets a call from the Imperial Palace.
No, you're skipping over something.
Who want
just,
to
what?
speak to Rodimus
You just missed.
quickly.
There was a match. There was a Kendo match.
I hate this component.
So they're
I hate this Japanese master. I hate this student. I hate the whole involvement of them in this whole episode.
Caleb, going back to our earlier discussion when we were in the shrine together and I brought up martial arts and you're like, I don't know why you'd think that other than it's Japanese. That's why I thought that is because of they're on the grounds, I assume, of the shrine.
You thought that those Kendo guys were fighting in the shrine?
Maybe not in the shrine, but I feel like on the shrine property
Oh, perhaps.
that there's a little Kendo dojo.
I apologize.
Thank
you.
you.
You could be right. And I don't know a lot about Japanese culture.
According to this animation, I am right.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
So many apologies this
Yeah.
episode. I love it. Ryan, do you have anything to
I
apologize
got
to me
nothing.
for?
I've never done anything wrong,
But
and I
what-
feel good.
Well, while we're on the topic of Kendo,
Yeah.
Kendo is Japanese for the way of the sword, and it's a traditional Japanese style of fencing with a 2-handed wooden sword. It's delivered from the fighting methods of the ancient samurai.
Now I know why Caleb told me you're never going to be out of here by 7:30.
Oh, it's me. It's my fault. Caleb that doesn't participate enough. Watch, Caleb starts participating. And all of a sudden, like, oh, God, I wish he'd shut up. I'm trying to get out of here.
Now I know what it feels like to actually be Caleb.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caleb, for that.
You're welcome.
History of Kendo. I appreciate that. Is the practice always with wooden swords, or is the whole thing based around wooden swords?
I know nothing more than the phrase that I
okay.
just
I
said.
just told you.
Possibly.
We're going to transition to Rodimus. I was saying before, he gets a phone call from the Imperial Palace, and they get over here. Rodimus goes to the Imperial Palace, and they dress him down.
Yeah, who dresses him down specifically?
It's hard to tell. The TF Wiki
Seems
says
to be
it's the
businessmen.
prime. Well, it says it's the prime minister, but then later they explain. They talk about a Japanese business. They do say it's bad. What they're doing is bad for business.
Bad for business. So I did some research on the Prime Minister of Japan in 1987. Let's see. Yasuhiro Nakasone was the Japanese he was a Japanese politician who served as Prime Minister of Japan and President of the Liberal Democratic Party from 1982 to 1987. He was a member of the House of Representatives for more than 50 years, and his political term was best known for pushing through the privatization of state-owned companies and pursuing a hawkish and pro-U.S. foreign policy. He was born in 1918, and he died in Tokyo on November 29th, 2019, at the age of 101 years. So Japan at this time was very hawkish on privatization, and
as opposed to every other time in history.
What, the Japanese?
Yeah, they're always like that. They love business.
I would argue against that. There was a whole period for like 300 or 400 years where they were completely
so I mean since like
the Edo
World War
period.
II.
Oh well, yeah. Well, they adopted a constitution that matched the United States. Yeah, I mean they were essentially during the 1950s where their whole state was run by the United States government.
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying, like, you're acting like it's different than the whole thing they've ever been in the modern world.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought he was just talking about that president.
I was just talking about that guy. I apologize.
Okay, no,
They did just
you
have,
don't have to apologize.
It wasn't that long
sorry.
ago that one of their, I don't know who that prime minister would have been equivalent to at the U.S. times, maybe George W. Bush, but the guy got assassinated not long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Former prime minister of Japan
Yeah.
with a guy with a homemade pistol.
Yeah, fucked
Yeah,
up.
that was wild.
Yeah, it just seems like
And that guy was pretty fashy.
He just, again, I'm just reiterating, like, it was the 80s, and
Yeah.
man, Thatcher and Reagan, and they were just push-
Privatize everything, baby.
this neoliberal push. It was just like, fuck it, everything's free. It's like, let money.
Give it to me.
And which is what these
You know what we
guys
should
are arguing about.
privatize? The government.
It's what these guys are arguing about here. They were like, it's bad for business. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, totally.
Basically, whoever these people are, these Japanese authorities, whether business or government oriented, they tell Rodimus, "You got to get out."
Well, they're business oriented. That's for damn sure.
Either you can't. Yeah, they're not. Can be both one and the same. Rodimus walks away, a little bit solemnly. Later, Cup and Rod are having a little kiki. Rodimus he's feeling down, and it's like the weight of the world is on his shoulders. Before we go on, my commentary is that I love Cup and Hot Rod chatting.
I do too.
And this is really where I felt like Dick Gautier in particular, his take on the character. I think this might be a hot one, but I think I like it more than Optimus Prime. I think I like it better than I feel like it's more complex than the Peter Cullen Optimus Prime.
I would agree. I would say
maybe not as iconic.
I would agree. I would say that maybe it's because it's more complex and interesting because he's so new to, like, he's not. I feel like Optimus Prime was very much the
he's always in the pocket,
boilerplate. Like, yeah, he's got this. I mean, he had 9 billion years to get this under control, and like Rodimus has had this job for what, a year. And so, but I agree. I love the dynamic between Cup and Rodimus in this episode in particular and in general.
It's earnest, it's heartfelt, but Marissa Fairborn
shows up with some more bullshit
unannounced. And she's got a problem. Earth Defense Command, blah, blah, blah. Rodimus interrupts. Why is everybody coming to me with their problems? Rodimus transforms and just gets the fuck out of there. What's his problem?
I also like this thing where what Cup said is that he's like, sorry, go ahead.
We got a title. He's got the burden hardest to bear.
Yeah, Cup basically says that Rodimus is trying to come to terms with being leader and having the Matrix, and Optimus had the same issues and had to come to terms with it on his own as well, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. And Marissa says, well, maybe he just needs someone to talk to. And I'd say, yeah, well, that's what he was doing before you showed up.
Oh, shit.
Marissa tracks down Rodimus Prime riding down the highway. Who sings that song?
The Doobie Brothers, dude. The band that we
They
saw
didn't play
last
it.
week.
They didn't play that song, did
Yes, they did.
I just heard that song live last week.
Yes,
Yes, you did. You saw those people literally perform that to you. You paid money
That's
for
why,
that.
Well, that's why it's in my head, I guess.
Yeah.
Tracks down Rodimus, but Wild Rider and Dead End Stunticons show up to disrupt the therapy session. They conduct a classic James Bond oil drop trick, spinning out Marissa's vehicle. In an attempt to save her, Rodimus also spins out, but off a cliff. The Stunticons investigate the scene. Rodimus has taken some damage, and the Matrix of leadership has spilled out from his chest. The Stunticons retrieve the Matrix to take it back to Galvatron on Char, and we go to a commercial.
I do. I also laughed when the Stunticons called Marissa's car a spinner. Because that's colloquially the term for a
It's
little
like a tiny girl.
a little tiny porn girl.
Thanks for making that happen for
Which I
us.
guess it is the name of the car, but that's all I think of when I hear that term.
You are 100% always going to go there.
It's not my fault.
I think it is.
It's society.
You've been socially conditioned for
It's
this.
what am I supposed to do?
I just got to keep jerking it.
It's not about masturbation.
Not at all. I jerk it for utility.
It's what do you hear when you think glory hole? Like, it's not about like coming. It's just about a thing that you like would associate with
Stick
it.
your dick
Yeah,
in.
well, but the glory hole is very specific. I can't.
Spinner is specific.
Mhm.
You've never heard Spinner?
I
Nope,
think
never
they're
have.
both equally sexual and appropriate to what happens on the show every day.
No, I'm
Good enough. I do wonder why the Matrix just straight up fell out of his chest. Like, that's some bad design.
Maybe he hadn't like clicked it
Oh, he
in,
didn't
you know?
lock it?
Yeah, it wasn't locked in, I guess. I don't know.
it didn't latch.
Maybe he was fumbling with it a little bit before he hit the road and
Get this out of here.
Well,
Or he
I
just
don't
threw
know-
it out.
I don't even know why I'm speculating. We come back from commercial. Marissa gets back on the road and seeks out Rodimus Prime. She finds his body nearly lifeless, laying on the rocks below. Back on Char.
Which looks like Cybertron. Also,
Yep.
pause it right there.
Yeah. Look at that throne.
Yeah, why does it look like Wreck-Gar?
Yeah.
So Galvatron's on a throne that
I
looks
didn't
like
notice
a
that before.
Wreck-Gar, like as if a child had a race car bed, but this
Yeah.
one is a throne that's made to look exactly like Wreck-Gar.
That's weird.
It has hands.
That's weird.
Yeah, super interesting choice.
So they're back on Cybertron?
No,
Char.
it's Char, but it's
Charbertron.
animated like Cybertron.
I think you could make an argument that they would terraform it eventually.
Char just inconsistently looks like whatever.
Right.
Like, it doesn't look anything like we saw a couple episodes ago where they had another room with a
That
big
had
view
tech
screen.
in it. Yeah. Maybe I'm crazy. It looks like there's a crazy face right here.
It does look like a
vampiric,
face. Like a vampire.
sort of.
That can't be anything else.
You don't think that's accidental, or just our
I think
mind?
it's probably accidental.
What else? Look, there's another scary face right here.
You're right. That is definitely intentional.
Oh, wow.
So those are
You're
intentional
right.
scary faces.
This is worth capturing. Hang on a minute.
So, yeah, we'll have to share that. What a weird thing.
A Wreck-Gar throne. It's a weird place, man. There's like a hole in the floor right there. Just a random hole in the floor, man.
Is that a trap door that he just left open?
Yeah,
There's two holes. There's a hole here and a hole
Yeah,
here.
he's just leaving his trap doors open. It's all fucked up.
Instead of like doing
It's all fucked
the
up.
trickery of
No,
stand right there and push the button.
No,
Like, you go in that hole.
just jump in the hole.
We're back on Char.
Yeah.
Galvatron is stoked about his possession of the Matrix. He inserts it into his fusion cannon. I guess that's a place to put it. Expecting a surge of power, but it pathetically just peters out. And instead of lasers or fusion fire or whatever comes out of that thing, the spirits of Autobot leaders past, including Optimus Prime himself,
Who we shall
emerge-
not hear from.
emerge from the barrel and conduct a ghostly chant in which they demand, "Return our Matrix! Return our Matrix!" I did appreciate that before he pulled the trigger, Galvatron said, "Now all shall become one."
Yes, he said
Nice
at last all shall be one under Galvatron's rule. I thought that was fun.
Spinning the narrative.
A lot of lore in this one. I like it.
This freaks everybody out quite a bit, including Galvatron. And I will say before we go on, a version of one of these models was used in Desertion of the Dinobots Part 2 and the Key to Vector Sigma Part 1. But other than that, aside from obviously Optimus Prime, all these are randoms.
It's weird they didn't choose like ones we've seen before.
Right. You got the reference material.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. Scourge, Galvatron commands, get rid of this thing. Scourge, however, is enraptured by the relic. He knows that it's the key to the universe. It's no mere weapon or energy source. It's ultimate, unfathomable power. And so Scourge jams it in his chest, and he immediately starts mutating. These large, bubbling tumors
It becomes a
puffing up
Cronenberg film.
from his steel flesh, fluids draining profusely from his eyes. He believes he now has the power of 100,000 Decepticons. And we go to commercial.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. We talk about mental health constantly on this show. We talk about it specifically in this episode. All three of us have or are actively using therapy to better understand ourselves and learn positive ways of engaging with life. Life is hard. Even in this episode of the show, specifically, Rodimus has a crisis where the pressures of leadership get so heavy he just breaks and quits the team. That may sound flippant to talk about a fictional character, but that kind of mapping out of how you feel about yourself and your responsibilities is very real. Trusting yourself to make decisions that align with your values is like anything else in life. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. It's like learning a good habit, essentially. If you think you would benefit from therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, convenient, flexible, and works on your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/autopod today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/autopod. And now, back to the show.
Question: why didn't Galvatron get that super mutation effect?
He didn't put it in his chest.
Got to put it in the chest.
Always.
Thing was
Maybe
that
Galvatron's
Perceptor
not
had?
an idiot. I don't know. I mean, he's crazy, but like
when he when he had it in the movie, he just kept it around his
his Jesus piece,
Jesus
as
piece.
Aaron said.
Yeah.
Primus piece.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. Although that's never referenced in these cartoons.
That's true.
We come back from commercial. Scourge has no problem not following orders here. And I do like the mutated transformation.
I like how it's fucked up. How he's like he's
Crying.
crying from the. It's
I
like he's
think-
tripping
That
acid.
guy's got
really
a
hard.
goiter. He needs to go to the doctor.
Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
No, I was just we haven't gotten there yet.
I guess we didn't go to commercial there. Weird. Why did I put that in my notes? Marissa has taken Rodimus back to a rest base. Springer, Cup, and Magnus are there, and they're not sure what's up with him. But Rodimus eventually wakes up. He says, you guys look like you've seen a ghost, and they kind of have, because this isn't Rodimus Prime.
No.
It's Hot Rod.
Let's party.
Hot Rod is in no hurry to get back to his responsibilities. Fighting Decepticons is a Sisyphean task, and Rowdy Roddy here is done with all that. You want the Matrix back? Fine, but someone else can have it. Hot Rod officially resigns.
I mean, I can't remember if it's this part, or I think it is this part where he's like, "We've been fighting this war for millions of years. I don't see it going anywhere. You guys want to continue it? Go ahead." And I'm kind of like, fair.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what he needs, though? Some of that Shinto wisdom.
ugh. It's just ugh.
You mean the Jiri?
Indeed.
I fucking hate this shit.
We'll talk more about that in a minute.
We transition to Char, where Galvatron is plotting. He thinks that the Matrix is destroyed, so that makes now the perfect time to take on the Autobots. But before they can take any action, Galvatron gets an unexpected blast in the chest from Scourge, who now desires the leadership of the Decepticons.
He's just all messed up.
He
I love
blasts
the
Galvatron,
Transformation is like, go ahead.
and he's still gross looking.
He looks like he melts, like into his ship form.
He does.
He blasts Galvatron and sends him beyond the line of sight. Cyclonus takes a shot as well at Scourge, but it's ricocheted back at him, rendering him knocked out. Scourge demands unwavering loyalty from the Decepticon crew before him, which includes Predaking, the Sweeps, Stunticons, all of you, to Earth. We are going to destroy the Autobots once and for all.
I will say, as weird as I'm just glad Toei animated this episode. Like, I can't imagine what this would be if, like, Acom did. Even that, like, he turns into an ice cream man.
Sequence. What are those flavors? Blueberry cream?
He looks like, whenever you got, like, the Spider-Man.
His face turns into a mouth and eyes on the bottom of
Like the Spider-Man popsicle where the eyes were all melted into it.
Hey, look at it. His face turns into the bottom of the ship.
That's terrible.
That's GIF worthy.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
It looks like a
doesn't even
stingray.
transform as much as he just does morphing.
He just morphs.
I argue that's the worst transformation I've ever seen while we've done this whole podcast.
We're not trying transformation.
He's
And then
kind
he's
of a
covered in cum.
He's kind of a melty ship.
Yeah, that's why it just makes me think of ice cream.
Yeah, it does. It does have that, like, if the ice cream truck comes by and you get one of these.
And you're upset.
You're like, ooh.
Blue raspberry cream.
Okay.
That's the flavor we're going with. They're all going to go somewhere. The Earth, fight Japan specifically. Galvatron climbs back upon the plateau. He and Cyclonus still function, but what the hell's up with Scourge? Cyclonus offers the only explanation. Scourge has the Matrix.
Is where we go to commercial. After Scourge takes off.
Oh, wow. I really jumped the gun on that. But I'm going to keep moving.
Keep on moving.
Cyclonus offers the only explanation, which is Scourge has the Matrix and has had his body and mind poisoned, and now he's taking control of Decepticons, which is another gifable moment. Galvatron punches Cyclonus and proclaims that he will not rest until Scourge and the Matrix are space dust. But I like how offended he is that Cyclonus just gives him an explanation of reality. And then he just pops him. It's been a while since we've had a good irrational slugging from Galvatron.
We just had one last episode.
He threw him in there.
No, he punched him in the face whenever
did he?
he came at the very beginning.
We are going to go... a Decepticon armada is on its way to Earth. It looks very serious, but has there been any peep out of Hot Rod? Nope. Per cup, we got to deal with this on our own. So we're going to go back to Ryan's favorite place, the dojo from earlier in the episode. A student who we saw earlier, Ozu, is getting some sage advice from his master. The lesson: don't expect to win. Don't expect to lose. Expect nothing.
I hate this fucking trope.
But hey, Hot Rod is here. The instructor approaches him. He needs help understanding this lesson. You see, the lesson is you must put victory out of your mind, because that line of thought inherently will conjure contemplations of defeat. And thinking of defeat is, it's an unnecessary distraction. So you must put both out of your head and concentrate only on what must be done to achieve victory. And he also says some passive-aggressive shit about he who deserts his obligation has already been defeated. Hot Rod considers this lesson and thanks the sensei. Ryan hates his advice. I feel like it was actually really good advice.
Well, no.
No, not.
I hate this. I hate this shit where they always do this, where wise people say ludicrous things that mean nothing and go nowhere and just have this circuitous route of, like, they have this double speak where it's like, it's the same thing with, like, coaches of football teams where they say common sense shit that's supposed to be so deep, and it's just fucking meaningless nonsense. It makes a spoof of that. And are you defeating the fear, or is the fear defeating you? Fuck you! Like, that doesn't mean anything.
There's something about the simplicity of lessons. Maybe they feel common sense. Sometimes you forget the basics. Like, we overcomplicate things, and we get lost in the weeds of what... I feel like I'm saying the coach stuff now. But we get lost in the minutia of whatever is happening, and sometimes you gotta go back to...
basics. Yeah, you gotta go back to basics, the fundamentals, man.
Caleb.
Yeah. So, he mentions a word here called geary. And I looked up geary. And I don't know if it necessarily applies to this, but geary is it refers to a Japanese sense of duty. which includes the unwritten social norms that ensure social harmony. And there's a lot of forms of it, but we can consider the responsibility that samurai warriors had to their masters as a classic example of giri in real life. These days, we can find the Japanese sense of duty at work or in family and interpersonal relationships. For example, if you work at a hotel, your duty is to provide good service to your guests. Your duty also remains even though they act rude and treat you badly. In a family, a child's duty is to respect their parents, and the child's duty also remains even though your parents can act disrespectful to you. So I have a problem with giri, but it is during the 80s, and I think there was.
It sounds like something that comes out of an authoritarian culture.
Yeah, it was basically like,
So shut up.
put your duty and your sense of work first, and everything, and that's what you're supposed to do. Fall in line, and for the quote unquote greater good. So. Yeah, I kind of have a problem with it.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't feel like this has anything to do with giri in that sense. There's not
I think there
other
is.
than, I guess, the abandonment of your responsibility.
So yes, I would agree with that. And that's why Hot Rod observes Scourge later on and his behavior and realizes the consequences of not observing giri. Like, for example, he says,
disobeyed Galvatron.
I belong, well, Hot Rod in particular said that I belong to the Matrix as much as it belongs to me. So instead of Hot Rod, basically the lesson of...
Well, in fact, I think he says that, like, I thought the Matrix belonged to me, but I belong to it. Like, he submits.
No, he doesn't say that.
He says, I belong to the
Okay.
Matrix. So my take on it is that the whole episode is a lesson in that Rodimus, or, he has a duty to possess the Matrix, even though he doesn't want it, and I think that's kind of bullshit.
I actually disagree. I agree with everything you said about that. My point of, like, I hate this master.
You don't like trite.
I don't like this bullshit.
Advice.
But I like the end of this where Hot Rod / Rodimus is like, I belong to the Matrix belongs to me. I don't think it was a sense of, like, I have to do this. I think it was a sense of, like, I want to do this. I want this to be my role. And I feel like it was well done. I just feel like in getting there, I was really annoyed. But I will say that, like what you said with giri, Caleb, that's fucking horseshit. But
Yeah.
I think that the way Rodimus and Hot Rod came to it felt okay. I just didn't like all this in-between shit.
Sure.
I just feel like they're saying, the authoritarian background of the giri notwithstanding, that you have to have a purpose, or you have a purpose, and this advice is about how you achieve that purpose, and focusing on not achieving that purpose is pointless, or it's detrimental to achieving your objective, and that Rodimus figured out what his purpose is. His purpose not being necessarily like destiny or whatever,
Sure.
but something you want to do, and then he decided to pursue it, and don't let the distraction of not being good at it or whatever, the other bullshit that the haters throw his way.
I agree. I agree with what you said completely. I think that the message to get there is not... I agree with that completely. I think the way we got there is stupid. Like, I think that the message you're saying is right. I think the way it's delivered is ridiculous, and Rodimus gets there despite this dummy saying nonsense to him.
I don't know. It made sense to me. I felt like I pictured a boxer, and I don't know. I feel like it all like applies in sports more particularly, which is why maybe coaches say things like that. And maybe, sorry, this is a generalization, so I apologize to any athletes that listen to this show. Hey, how do you do? Sometimes you have to use that kind of messaging to,
I guess you're right.
get them where they're going. We're soldiers or whatever.
Well,
and again, I don't mean to imply that all soldiers are dumb or all athletes are dumb. Or you
I
just need
guess-
to be clear and direct in your messaging, and sometimes you need to get to the
I guess no,
basics.
you're completely right. I am coming in a little hot just because I hate the trope of like storytelling this way. But you're right in in a real world sense, sometimes you do get in your own way with overcomplicating things, and like somebody telling you something in a simple way can, I guess, help.
Especially if you're in the heat of a moment.
Exactly. I suppose I just hate it in a fictional sense, I guess. In the real world, I suppose it makes sense. I don't like seeing it in movies and TV.
I get it. All right. That's fine.
I think we all agree.
We go back to the revenge. Galvatron, Cyclonus.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a
Cyclonus report. I mean, I'm sitting right next to you. I know what's happening, but let me know.
We're on the same page already. They've got a lock on Scourge, and they are going to fuck that guy up. Meanwhile, Scourge and the Decepticons approach Earth. Their only mission is to destroy.
This part's so silly.
Scourge and crew land in Japan. They immediately start busting shit up. Cup gets cooked. Broadside is busted. Scourge's monstrous form starts harassing an old lady civilian on the streets.
True. Scourge loses the plot completely and just starts chasing this old woman.
That's when our friend Ozu shows up, pulls out his sword. He distracts, maybe even wounds Scourge with his sword. Scourge corners the old lady and Ozu in an alleyway. As Scourge prepares to slaughter them, he is attacked by Hot Rod, who drives into him, another kind of movie-esque
He also transforms in a very movie way from like he transforms very similarly to the way he transforms on Lookout Mountain. We'll see.
I love that transformation. Let's check it. Oh yeah,
his shoulders kind of spin around.
Yeah, it wasn't the most graceful.
No,
they didn't have quite the budget. Scourge states he is now going to use the power of Hot Rod's own Matrix against him, but you see, Hot Rod is grown. He now understands he must fulfill his obligation to the Matrix. He belongs to it, and maybe I'll just capture that.
Scourge? Yes! And now you shall feel the destructive power of your own Matrix!
The Matrix did this to you? Then I have to take it back. I see now it is my obligation. I belong to it. As much as it belongs to me.
You must die!
Not today, pal!
Doesn't he say, not today, Galvatron? Not today, Megatron. In the movie?
Yeah, there is something similar to that. I thought that when I watched that too, but I couldn't place it either. But yes, you're right. He says something like that. Not today. Yeah.
Fight.
Anyway.
Hot Rod wins, takes the Matrix, elevates himself back to the leadership position, and takes the humans home. This was some discourse I saw on TF Wiki. Scourge is not that powerful, turns out.
Well, not... yeah.
I mean, he gets all gross, but he didn't really
certainly does.
much of anything.
He really, really chased that woman.
Yeah, he was really all about that.
Fuck out of her. I was thinking maybe his power of the Matrix, if you're a Decepticon, is really just like doing a little cocaine tootski. You just get a short bump of fun, but then it just wears off quickly.
It's also I'm going fire out on a limb here, but it's also possible that Hot Rod was able to defeat him, whereas like he was like Scourge could take on Cyclonus and Galvatron. Because like they were Unicron creations and the Matrix is fucking them up, and like Hot Rod is an Autobot and can I don't
That's
know.
a deep
It belongs
one.
to him and he belongs to it. Maybe the Matrix couldn't allow Scourge to win.
Well, yeah, I mean, because in theory, also, like, the Matrix shouldn't, like, it should I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It makes me think
know.
of the, I think it was the Marvel comic run. The Matrix could get infected with darkness.
Yeah,
and-
Lord Thunderwing had the Matrix, and the
Yeah.
Matrix was interested in being evil for a while because it had a consciousness. That was a cool run.
But not here. Yeah, so Galvatron and Scourge, after Hot Rod, gets it back, does his business, drives away. Scourge and Galvatron show up. They approach the devolved Scourge and give him a taste of their revenge. The other Decepticons who are battling Cup and Ultra Magnus and the other Autobots, they see their leaders fleeing, so they all retreat.
Let's get out of here.
Rodimus shows up to the scene of the battle. Cup immediately notices that Hot Rod is psychologically now up to the responsibility of leadership. He's found a part of himself, a part that, according to Cup, Rodimus will never lose. Now that's some trite bullshit.
I actually disagreed. I thought that was nice. I liked it because he said it's the most important part. That's what you'll never lose, which is yourself. I liked it.
All right, let's get that on wax while we're at it.
Put that on the cylinder.
Competing philosophy.
Ryan's hard to nail down.
You never know where I'm coming from.
Looks like you did okay without me.
Hot Rod, Rodimus.
Well, son of a gun. Found that missing part, huh?
Not just the Matrix Cup. A missing part of myself.
And that's the point, son. No matter who carries the Matrix, that part's what you'll never lose.
I liked it.
So, that episode's over. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, but what a refreshing pivot from the face of Najika.
Yeah,
in
way
terms
better.
of clear-ish storytelling and
I think they
animation.
We had characters we know, not a whole world we had to understand.
It's the end of the episode. Some fun pointers. Checking out from the Chateau de la Transformeur, we have Springer, Broadside, Astrotrain, Devastator, and Marissa Fairborn.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
Wow.
A little call out on toys, third-party toys specifically. X-Transbot's Scourge, which I'll show you guys the picture, has a little flippity-flat panel on his chest for inserting a matrix.
How about that? Is there any greeble you can add to him, like it's all bumpy
Slap
and
a
shit?
bunch on him.
Yeah, see, that would be a nice add-on kit.
Yeah.
Get on it, Dr. Wu. New characters, voice actors. Ozu was voiced by Springer's own Neil Ross. Ozu's sensei was Philip L. Clark, who we love as Augie, Dead End, Abdul Fakadi, and Primacron. Old Japanese Lady was played by Susan Blue. Maybe not the most culturally sensitive interpretation. The Prime Minister / disgruntled businessman, unknown. He was not credited, or not, at least in my resources that I have.
In the real world.
All right. The Burden Hardest to Bear. November 19th, 1986, one day before the episode we reviewed last episode. In the American Top 40, we talked about the real number one this week on the last one, so I picked another number one from the summer of 86. Top of the Pops for 1 week in June was Madonna's Live to Tell. You guys know this song?
Maybe.
If I live to tell something and something's happened, you know it. I'm just singing it poorly. I'm not a huge fan of Madonna's ballads, so I don't really like this song, although I seem to be in the complete minority about that. It was originally composed by Patrick Leonard as an instrumental for Paramount's film Fire with Fire, but it was rejected and then Leonard offered it to Madonna, who wrote the lyrics and decided to use it for At Close Range, a movie starring then-husband Sean Penn.
Man, was she in it too?
I don't think so.
Okay. The movies with the both of them together are terrible.
Are there movies with them together?
At least one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I ever saw them. I'm not particularly fond of Sean Penn or Madonna.
I'm not fond of her as an actress. She's pretty annoying.
As a human, she seems relatively annoying also.
Yes.
But
I like some of her music.
So.
Yeah, I like some of her music. Yeah. Go ahead.
Borderline.
Yeah.
Once she got into that whole Papa Don't Preach. I don't know.
Is this a
Reservoir
speech from a
Dogs?
Quentin Tarantino movie?
The lyrics dealt with deceit, mistrust, and childhood scars. Madonna has said she thought about her relationship with her parents while writing the lyrics, which is weird, because I thought, like, all creative artists come from super stable home lives. That seemed funnier when I wrote it down on the notes. Like I said, my opinion of the song is certainly in the minority, as it was critically acclaimed and gave one of they say that it was one of Madonna's all-time strongest vocal performances. That's it on that. Number one at the box office, Star Trek IV is number one this week, so I picked a movie I've never actually seen from 1986, The Golden Child, starring Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Back to Eddie Murphy. Should have been in Star Trek 4.
Ugh. I don't know how I never got my eyeballs on this movie, but
It's not one of his best.
Here's the thing, and this is controversial. I don't really enjoy Eddie Murphy as an actor.
Really?
Nah. I've never seen him in something where I'm like, oh man, I can't imagine somebody else doing that.
Shrek 3 made that movie.
But there are a lot of movies I really, really like him in, like Harlem Nights and Boomerang and
Coming to
Trading
America.
Places. Well, okay, maybe Coming to America and Trading Places. Those are ones where I'm like,
He's perfect for those roles.
yeah. I
At
guess
least
I
one of
just
them.
don't feel like, in the same way of like, when I watch him, I don't feel like the charisma that I think most people do.
That's a you
He just
thing.
doesn't do anything for me, I guess. In the same way that, for some reason, I don't like Julia Roberts.
I feel that way about Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I'm the same.
100%.
I'm the same.
The Golden Child was number one for the final 3 weeks of 1986 and the first 2 weeks of 1987, so a pretty good run. Murphy plays an L.A. social worker who is informed that he is the chosen one, destined to save the Golden Child, a kidnapped Tibetan boy with mystical powers who's destined to save humankind. It was also Eddie Murphy's first film not rated R. The film did well at the box office, earning $140 million on a budget somewhere between $12 and $25 million, so that's hazy.
Okay.
The movie got abysmal critical response. And in a fairly shitty move, Murphy himself said in 1989, "My movies make their money back. No matter how I feel, for instance, about The Golden Child, which was a piece of shit, the movie made more than $100 million, so who am I to say it sucks?" Which I find funny, since 1989 was the beginning of like Murphy's decade career slump.
Yeah.
Probably tied to the fact that after that movie, he decided he wanted to co-write everything that he was in.
I kind of liked Boomerang. I feel like that's the
I like Boomerang.
That's the tail end of his peak, I would say.
Well, then he
That's-
went into family films.
I mean, he had like 10 kids by then, so he
He has
make
a
some
lot of
for
children.
them.
Everyone involved in this film and critics seem to damn it with faint praise. Critic Leonard Maltin said, quote, "It was a box office hit, but have you ever met anyone who actually liked it?" Unquote. And Roger Ebert said, "The Golden Child may not be the Eddie Murphy movie we were waiting for, but it'll do."
These are great.
Charles Dance, who played the villain in the movie, said, "I thought I'd quite like to do a film with Eddie Murphy because he makes me laugh. So I thought, okay, we'll try this. And I did. And I know that it's played over and over again, and a lot of devotees say it's their favorite film. It was fun. I enjoyed doing it." And he sounds like he has a gun to his head.
There's a lot of in between the lines stuff there with what he's saying.
Anyway, let's see. Oh, I will say this: if you do like Eddie Murphy at all, and I will agree that this is great, like, or you like 70s blaxploitation films, the Netflix's Dolomite Is My Name is an excellent film.
Yeah,
I wanted to see it.
it is good.
He has been on that like post-career comeback sort of phase for
Mm-hmm.
I really,
how long? I don't know.
I really enjoyed Wesley
5
Snipes
years.
in that movie too.
Mm-hmm. He plays Rudy Ray Moore. I was just put this in here about Disco Godfather.
That's right.
Which
You and I have reference to that.
we worked with a chef who, at the time whenever he was in California, is an extra in that film, and West and I watched that probably like a year ago, and like it's one of those things we quote to each other all the time, where we say, "Put your weight on it, put your weight on it," which is a quote from that film. Also a Rudy Ray Moore song. It's very funny.
For any Rudy Ray Moore fans out there, the guy that we're referring to, what his scene was, I've never seen the movie, but his scene, this is very convenient. He was in a full body cast in a hospital and for a brief scene.
Yeah, it's in he's like a drug addict. The whole scene is like it's about Dolomite visiting, like he doesn't like people like the drug dealers, and he's visiting people in a drug rehab thing, and it's like
It's a guy in a full body
ridiculous.
cast as a because of his drug use.
I don't. I mean,
Maybe I've got
it's
the
like
details wrong about that.
No,
I don't remember the full body cast.
A guy in a hospital. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. But it is a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing. Go watch
Good old chef.
Go watch Disco Godfather. It is worth putting your eyes on. It's excellent.
Rip deviations.
This episode was written by Michael Charles Hill, who we've talked about many times. Hill wrote for G.I. Joe, Cops, TMNT, and Garbage Pail Kids. He's also penned several other Transformers scripts that I like a great deal. The Gambler, Starscream's Brigade, The Killing Jar, and Ghost in the Machine. And like you said, Aaron, this is the swan song for Springer, Broadside, Astro Train, Devastator, and Mercer Fairborn. It does seem strange that Springer's not in The Return of Optimus Prime.
Right. Totally. They decided to give Bumblebee screen time instead.
Yeah, that's all there is in script deviations.
How do you guys feel about the scheme? There's not really a scheme.
Yeah.
There's just some dumb luck for the Decepticons, followed by bungling, maybe a little more luck, but then they bungle again, and there's not really much to rate. But now that I'm a Hot Rod stan, I feel like it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I liked the Rodimus Hot Rod stuff. I like the Matrix stuff. I like anytime we see the Matrix, like in that kind of lore and stuff. It would have been cooler if like Scourge were more of a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Scourge's scheme backfired on him in grand fashion.
Almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been, just a little more detail around. Maybe Rodimus had to follow the sage's advice in a more direct way to defeat Scourge, but I don't know.
Are you defeating Scourge, or is Scourge defeating you?
What's the sound of one hand clapping? Hot Rod. No, not one hand fapping. One hand clapping, Hot Rod.
That couldn't have been better.
That was excellent.
We can.
I'm the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know,
Scourge getting all
the
roided
ice
out.
cream transformation.
Mutant Scourge and ice cream transformation's all a part of that. That's got to be gift.
Yes. Next time on the Autopod Decepticons.
Are you guys all happy that Rodimus is the leader again? Enjoy it while you can.
Don't worry, it's not long for this world.
If you'd like to help support the show, we invite you to check out our Patreon page. Several levels of support that come with a wide variety of benefits. The booty box, of course, the Discord access.
Mm-hmm.
Find out more, patreon.com/APODcast. You can buy shit from us at our store, autopoddecepticast.com/store, and buy us a drink for $5 hairs, which is what Ryan used to say all the time, and I hated it, and I just did it.
I hated it.
Don't forget to, if nothing else, give us a little review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play.
We might have one of those on the next episode.
Yeah, I meant to do that live and totally forgot about it. You can, as far as social media goes, you'll find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all of them at APODcast. Oh, dear me. And YouTube.com.
Oh, yes, please. If that's your bailiwick, go check that out.
You could listen to the show there. Is that at YouTube /@APODcast? Or how does that shit work?
Just look up Autopod Decepticast. Yeah.
I can't be knowing all kinds of things.
Find our show notes and other fancy follow-up materials at autopoddecepticast.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
We'll see
We're
ya.
done.
That's the end.
That was
Bye.
a fun couple of episodes. You guys.
No, I forgot,
Wow.
wow. Oh, no, I messed it up.
Oh, no. Some Simon Says going on. Shinto says.
Bro Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes, 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 yes.